Evening, everyone. I'm Michael. I'm one of the volunteers here. Welcome to this evening's meditation practice. Anyone here for the first time? Hi. Welcome everybody who's returning. We have a few announcements before we get started. If you haven't already, please remember to silence your cell phones and put them away so you can be fully present for the talk and the meditation. If you must use your phone, please do so outside the meditation hall. We invite you to join us on our weekly Tuesday events with the Medicine Buddha practice at 6 p.m. and our public talk at 7 p.m. Next week, for our Tuesday evening talk, Geshe Phende will continue speaking on the 37 practices of a bodhisattva. Wednesday evenings at 7 p.m., the Drepung Loseling monks conduct evening prayers for His Holiness the Dalai Lama's long life and for other teachers. On Thursdays at 4:30 p.m., the Drepung Loseling monks conduct the Protector Puja for smooth journeys, successive interviews, medical treatments, new business, etc. Our popular 5-class foundation series concludes May 16th with Refuge, Entering the Path of Inner Transformation. This one-day retreat via Zoom focuses on the significance of refuge, which is the entrance to the Buddhist practice. This series is a prereq for the intermediate series and for other retreats. We're thrilled to announce the upcoming book release of Engaged Compassion by our founder and spiritual director, Geshe Lobsang Tenzin Negi, Ph.D., releasing May 12th, 2026. On Sunday, May 17th, Geshe will lead our 11 a.m. meditation and host a book signing afterwards. Pre-orders are available now through all major booksellers. Pre-ordering is a wonderful way to support the launch of this meaningful work. More info if you need it is in the lobby or online. We're pleased to announce a return visit with the nuns of Sravasti Abbey on May 7th to give an evening talk to our community before heading back home. Join visiting nuns Venerables Thupten Jamcho and Thupten Rinchen as they lead an exploration in empathetic joy and equanimity. They will discuss how to move past the subtle biases of us versus them and how to cultivate a joy that isn't dependent upon our own personal gains. That'll be in person only. Information on all the events, which I may have read through quickly, and I apologize, can be found in the lobby and on the website at drepung.org. If you're interested in becoming a member to support our ongoing programs and take advantage of benefits like discounts on courses and retreats, applications are available in the library and also online. There's a donation box near the entrance to this room. Your generous support helps us to continue to offer programs and services like this to our Atlanta community and to those around the world through our online programs. Now, if you would please stand as we welcome our resident teacher, Geshe Phende, to come in for this evening's talk.
Okay, now first we recite the mantra of Heart Sutra. Tayata gati gati paragati parasangati bodhisoha Tayata Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgati 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 Bodhisoha. Next, for imaginables. May all beings have happiness. May they be free from suffering. May they find the joy that has never known suffering. May they be free from attachments and hatred. May all beings have happiness. May they be free from suffering. May they find the joy that has never known suffering. May they be free from attachments and hatred. May all beings have happiness. May they be free from suffering. May they find the joy that has never known suffering. May they be free from attachments and hatred. Next mandala offering. Oi sai shi bi ji joy shi ai me ai to tama ri ai ra li shi ni ai de ai je ba ti san je shi to mi ai de bi wa ye trôi quê nama đại shi la chöya pa sho idam guru ratna pendala kaniyataya me. So today the teaching is stanza, or means practice 11. So this is the practice which is called the practice, the equalizing and exchanging self in others. So this is, I think, one of the most important practice. And among here, there are 37 practices. So this practice 11 is, I think, one of the main practice. That's the kind of all the mind training practice we call Lojong, right? So in Buddhists, they have many aspects of the Lojong, 8 verses of mind training, 7 points of mind training. So they also have like 100 aspects of the mind training. So there are many mind trainings practice. So the main practice is this practice number 11. The mainly come from that stanza. All of these practice, coming from this stanza. So this is very important practice. It is, of course, it is difficult, but it is really powerful. And if you're able to do that practice, it really helps you to heal, kind of any mental pains and sufferings we've been experienced will heal by this practice number 11. It's so powerful. So here the practice 11 is called Dungye Malu Dakte Döle Chung Dzogbe Sanje Shenpen Semle Chung Dechere Dakte Shenki Dungye Da Yangda Jeba Jese Laklins. All the sufferings comes from the wish for your own happiness. Perfect Buddhas are born from the thought of help others. Therefore, exchange your own happiness for the suffering of others. This is the practice of bodhisattvas. So last time I mentioned stanza number 10, right, is cultivating special bodhicitta through the Maitreya lineage, right? Lineage of extensive deeds. So in Tibetan tradition, in order to generate bodhicitta, there are 2 different lineage practice. We talked about last class. So one is from Buddha Shakyamuni to way to Maitreya, then Arya Sangha. That's one lineage. The another lineage is from Buddha Shakyamuni to Manjushri, Manjushri to Nagarjuna. Right then, Shantideva. Right, these practice. So that's called the lineage of profound view. So specific, this Nagarjuna lineage, it is saying the lineage that Buddha Shakyamuni transmitted were Manjushri to Arya Nagarjuna and Arya Shantideva. It's called the training of equalizing and exchanging self in others. So that this lineage called the training of equalizing and exchanging self in others. So that's the what you call the lineage that call. So today the lineage which we follow, Nagarjuna lineage way of how to cultivate bodhicitta. Right? We finished last time Maitreya lineage called 7-point quintessential instruction, cause and effect, right? Or 7 points of instruction, cause and effect. That's the Maitreya we talked about last class. So this class It's called the training of equalizing and exchanging, right, self in others. So the training of equalizing and exchanging self in others, that the Nagarjuna specific Shantideva, right? The Shantideva is one of the great Indian master around 8th century. So Nagarjuna is around 2nd century. So those master, in order to cultivate bodhicitta, right, awakening mind, you need to cultivate compassion, like unusual attitude. So how should they do it? How should they cultivate bodhicitta? That's why it's saying it's called exchanging. Now first equalizing, exchanging self in others. Equalizing, what that really means right now, majority people, we have a very strong selfish mind, right? We cherish to ourselves. We always looking one's own benefit, right? Called self-cherishing or self-centered attitude. So that mind and the other side, for the others, we ignore, we neglecting, right? We not that much care about others. When there is the self and others too, first we choose self. We cherish the self and we ignore neglecting towards other. That type of mind, ordinary people, we have those, right? So here, equalizing, so means we should feel equal, self and others, not self first cherish, others, neglecting. So that change into, not completely change, at least first self and others as the equal feeling. It doesn't mean self is other, other is self. Self is self, other is other, right? But what we have, we cherish, we close to the self, we feel distant to the others, or that mind, we ignore to others, we feel close to other, we feel distant to the other, close to the self. So that first equalize, self and others both equal, not one cherish and one ignore. Just go both equalizing, equal, right? You call the mind of equanimity, right? Equanimity practice. Then after that, equalizing and exchange. Now change. So first, directly, it's difficult to change. So first, it goes to equalizing, equanimity practice. After, next, now you exchange. What you change, instead of cherishing to oneself, instead of ignoring to others, you switch that mind, right? Instead of cherish oneself, ignore oneself. Instead of neglecting to others, cherish to the others. That's called exchanging, right? So mind is change, not self and other is change. You cannot change self and other. Other is other, self is self, right? But because of self, we cherish, we feel close. Because of others, we feel distant, right? So that mindset, exchange, right? So that's called equalizing and exchanging self in others, right? Means not self in others exchange, exchanging self-cherishing into cherish others, ignoring, neglecting to others. Instead of that, neglecting to oneself. So that kind of mindset is change. So through that, you cultivate bodhicitta. This is specific Manjushri lineage. So when you read it, the Nagarjuna, Precious Garland, his text, is talking about this teaching, right? Precious Garland. Shantideva, the guide of Bodhisattva way of life, that text called. So I think around chapter number 8, it's concentration. So in that chapter, he was really emphasizing on this exchanging self and others. So these practice, they are talking about these texts. So that's why these texts are really, really powerful, very important texts. So now first line here saying all sufferings comes from the wish for your own happiness. What does that mean? Okay, there's new water, right? So in order to exchange that, so we have to go step by step. First, we meditate equanimity, right? So you need to meditate on equanimity practice. So equanimity, actually this equanimity practice, even material lineage also have equanimity practice, right? Equanimity is like a ground. I mentioned last time, there's a boat they have. Today in this tradition, equanimity is a little bit different practice. In the material lineage, equanimity is what you call your friends, your enemies, right? Neutral beings. Like usually it is saying all other beings, you put it into 3 baskets, right? One is called basket of closeness. One is called basket of distant. One is called basket of neuters, right? 3 different baskets. So all your friends and the families, you put it into basket of closeness, right? They are your close. All your enemies, you put it into basket of distant, far distant, right? And the majority, you put it in basket of neuters, not close, not distant, neuters, right? These 3 baskets. So every sentient beings, entire beings, our mind, we put it into 3 different baskets. So our mind is the one who divided them, right? One you put it into close, one you put it into distant, one is the neuter. So these 3 baskets, where they're coming from? Who created these 3 baskets? Your 3 poison mind, right? Your 3 poisons. One is attachment. Attachment create basket of closeness, right? Second is your anger. So anger create basket of distant, right? Then neuter, the third basket, your ignorance, right? Which create the basket of neuters. 3 different baskets coming from your 3 poison mind. It's not real the other 3 exist that way. Our mind is one who divided them, right? So even your family members, first they are in your basket of closeness, right? Somehow you are disagree each other, eventually you fight, you become angry. So when you feel angry towards even your own family member, that family member, it goes to the basket of distant, right? Doesn't matter, even your twin brother, twin sister, even your blood, doesn't matter. It goes to the basket of distant. You always remain distant with these people. So why? Your anger. You feel anger to any beings, those beings goes to the basket of distant. Any people you attach, those people comes to the basket of closeness, right? Then your ignorance, the neutral baskets. So our mind remain bias, right? We divided 3 different categories. That mind's called bias, unequal-minded. So when you live with this biased mind, you cannot cultivate compassion equal to every being. It's impossible. So first, we have to make equal, like a ground. If your ground is not equal, even, then when you plant the fruits or whatever, it always goes certain area very good, certain area not good. It's unequal ground. So that's why if your mind is unequal, your compassion will unequal. Your special compassion, your love, everything's become biased. So it never comes the real one. So therefore, first they meditate equanimity. So the previous stanza, material lineage, in that tradition, the equanimity, which is your friends, your family, or your enemy, or neutral beings, all of these 3 makes equal. So equanimity is not self and others as an equal. For their tradition, equal is all these categories, the 3 categories you make it, that you change it, make every beings equal in one basket. Right? All of them put it into the one basket, not 3 categories. That equanimity, material lineage. So today, in this lineage, the equanimity, little bit different. Not only all of them equal, even self and others also equal now. Right? It's more difficult. Right? It's different. Material is others are put it only equal, not the self. But this lineage, other and self is also equals, right? So how to cultivate this meditation? How to you generating? So this tradition, the training of equalizing and exchanging self and others, this tradition of the practice, usually it is called, the people who practice in this tradition, you have to have more smarter, means you have to understanding philosophy better, because this is more difficult. So you have to know about the dependent origination, emptiness, those philosophy, tremendous helps to cultivate this practice. So this practitioner, usually it is called, it's very much analyzing. Analytical meditation is very important. So in this tradition, how can self and others make equal? Not only other, even self and others as an equal. So it is saying, first practice is yourself, your fundamental desire, right? Your innate natural desire is just wants to live happy peace and wish to flee from suffering, right? That wish is your fundamental desire, your innate natural desires. Exactly same, all of them, all of other sentient beings, the fundamental desire is absolutely same as yours desire. So that's how we should look. We are same. What you wanted, exactly the same the others. They also want to live happy. They also do not want suffering. So you look from that perspective, we are the same. Then second, you have a right to live happy, peace, right? Exactly all other beings has equal right to live happy and peace, right? Then next, your final goal is long-lasting happiness, right? Exactly same, all of them. The final goal is also long-lasting happiness. Exactly the same. So your fundamental desires are same. All of you and self and others have equal right. Self and others, their final goal is also equal, same. So from that perspective, There's no any differences. This is our fundamental level. It's exactly the same. Secondary level, we have a little differences, but secondary level is not reliable. It change, right? Fundamental level, it never change. That's how it is. So from that perspective, exactly the same, right? That's the one way of meditation. Then next one, it's more what you call the philosophy. It is saying, which in our mind, self, others, right? We have kind of huge big gap between these two. But actually when you investigate, self is because of others. If there is no others, there's no self. Why this become a self? Because those are others, right? Others because of self. Without self, there's no others. So self and others is mutual dependent. They're not separated. This because of that because of this. It's not completely separating things. When you look at, you say, that mountain, right? Why it's become that? Because this mountain, because of this, they become that. So when you are there, this become that, right? Because of that become a this. So this or that is just dependently. You cannot go there to find this is something there. Without depend on others, there is no self. Our mind is called the mind of self-grasping. I mentioned last time the emptiness, right, which is one of the important philosophy. It means for us, looks like right now everything separate, everything solid there. But actually, when you really investigate, research, think about, there's nothing, anything can exist by themselves, exist independently, inherently, objectively, nothing there. But that doesn't mean they are not exist. So how does they exist? Exist dependently, depending. So depend on else. There's nothing there, it's just dependently. Like a self, you say, like person, right? Person depend on your aggregates. Depend on your body, your mind, right? Your body is not you. Your mind is not you. So without your body, your mind, there's no you. There's no person, right? Person not exists. But to try to find where is the person, look it in your body to find it. From your mind, you search, you cannot find anything there. So you cannot find anything, you cannot grab it, any phenomena. So it's called independent existence. So you cannot see anything solid from the object side, right? That's called empty of independent existence. There's nothing solid there. But that doesn't mean it's not exists. Existence is because it's functioning, that's all. Flower exists because it's functioning, right? It gives you smell, it see the beautiful, whatever, it's function. That self is functioning. He can talk, he can feel, experience, there's something there. It's functioning. But try to find it, where is it? From the object side, you cannot find anything there. There's nothing. So it's not grabbable. It's not pointable. You cannot point anything there, right? So way of the existence is just dependently. So through that understanding on dependent origination, then self and others is just mutual dependent. Like when you say, this is tall, this is short, right? When you look these two fingers, when you ask which is tall, you say this is the tall, right? But this is tall to try to find from its own finger, you cannot find any reason. This is tall because this is short, that's all, right? This is the short, that's why it's become tall. Without short, there's no tall. If tall come from themselves, when this finger comes, you have to remain tall. But this finger comes, it changed now. Now it's become short now. So short, tall is nothing from there. It depends on something else. Somebody. Right? Otherwise there's nothing. That's the same logic. Self, other. It's like that. Without other, there's no self. But our mind is not seeing that. Our mind, self means completely separated from the others. Others means something there. So we put huge big gap between self and others. That's why we grasp self, cherishing. Others means distant. But if you really investigate the self which you grasp, which you cherishing, where is it? How it's become a self? Try to find it. You cannot find anything from the object side. Without understanding the others, you cannot find any self. Right? Same short and tall. Same. Without short, there's no tall. Right? Whenever people say, oh, this is tall, that means in them mentally, they all have measuring. Short means something. If they do not know short, what does that mean? When you ask, they say, I don't know, it's tall or short. But they don't know the short, how can they know this is tall? Because tall coming from the short, right? So that's why, mutual dependence is showing things are empty of inherent existence. That philosophy tremendous helps you. Self and others not completely separated. They just depend on each other's. Without other, there's no self. Without self, there's no others. It's just mutual dependent on each other. Through that reason, through that understanding on self and others are dependent, you can cultivate equanimity. Self and others are equal. Our mind is just making, dividing them. In the reality, it's absolutely equal. So that is called, equalizing and exchanging self in others. So equalizing, it's not easy, right? You have to think, you have to dig down there. So philosophy, then meditation, eventually from deep of your heart, you feel, yes, this self and others, absolutely same thing. It's just we clinging there, but actually self is because of others because of the self. Otherwise, there's nothing and exists by themselves alone, right? Through that logic, you can cultivate equanimity, right? Equalizing self in others. Then next, exchanging. It's more difficult. Exchange means right now we all have that. We always cherish self, right? We choose first me, self first. Then second, others, right? So that kind of mind, now we need to exchange. Instead of cherishing oneself, cherish to others. Instead of ignore others, ignore oneself. That mind, it's very, very difficult to exchange, right? So how should we do it? So in order to exchange that, first, you need to understanding disadvantages of selfish mind, self-centered, right? Self-centered, which we have, disadvantages of this self-centered. And a self-centered, how much it's creating suffering, right? Self-centered mind. How much it's creating problem. How much it's creating suffering. That you need to know first. It's called disadvantages of the self-centered. So in order to knowing this, the Shantideva, right? Shantideva's, the Guide of Bodhisattva Way of Life, I mentioned earlier. It's a very good book. So when you read it, specific chapter number 8, right? Look at this chapter. You have lots of information about disadvantages of self-centered. Today, majority in this planet, majority human beings, we really don't know disadvantages of self-centered. We really don't know self-centered can create these kind of problems. That is why in the, what you call the majority people have no desire to change your self-centered attitude. No desire. Instead of that, maybe people think, oh, self-centered is very important. That gives you self-extreme, self-confidence. It helps to makes more successful. Right? Many people think that way. Self-centered is the most important. It gives you inner power. It helps to achieve, achievement. That's the modern majority people think that way. But when you look it into, according to the Buddhist psychology, self-centered is one of the worst enemy. General, all the mental afflictions, it's diagnosed as causes of suffering, right? All the mental affliction. Among this, all the mental affliction, the specific root causes of mental affliction, they diagnose. There are two main root of the mental affliction. There's two. One is self-centered, selfish mind. Another one is called self-grasping, the mind of self-grasping. So mind of self-grasping and the self-centered are the root causes of all these mental afflictions, right? That first, Buddhist specific Mahayana practitioners need to understand that. If they're really not understanding these two, then your practice never ever success. You never achieved. In order to achieve any Mahayana realization, we really need to know your self-centered and your mind of ego-grasping are one of the most danger emotion, one of the most, what you call the negative mind. So that's why first we need to learn the disadvantages of self-centered. That's why the Mahayana textbooks, when you read it, the Shantidevas, Nagarjunas, there are lots of information about disadvantages of self-centered, right? So the detail, you should read it, those texts. But today I will give just small information, just only few of them. The first thing is just very common sense, just common sense which use it. Self-centered, you always remain like a judge. You stay middle judge. So you put it self-centered here, you put it altruism, right? Altruistic mind, the two mind. Leave it there. Then you judge. What is this mind is doing? Self-centered, this mind, what they thinking, what they believing. Self-centered mind is seeing self, oneself is the most important than all other beings, right? Today we say it's almost 8 billion human beings living in this planet. You put 8 billion human beings here. You put oneself here. Self-centered is the mind who's seeing this is more important than that, right? 8 billion human beings, you put it in the right side. Left side, only one person, yourself, put there. Self-centered seeing this is, the one self is the only one person seeing this is more important than rest of 8 billion humans. That's how they see. That's how they believed, right? That's how they grasp. Now you should look, it is 8 billion human or one human being. Who's most important, right? If you really caution, one person, how much important? It's just one person, right? Others, 8 billions. It's the number. You can see it, right? Without doubt. Of course, these 8 billion human beings are the more important than only one person. But self-centered is not seeing that way. It's completely ignorance, right? Who just only one person seeing that. So you look, this in the city, the one person who just for sake of cleansing only their own home, to keep that your home clean, rest of all the environment make dirty, right? That rest of them make all of dirty. Only oneself home is clean. If they do this kind of behavior, what people can say, right? This is ignorance. Don't understand it, that ignorance, which is important. One person home is just only one. There's a rest of all these hundreds of thousands of peoples. You make dirty to them, right? That's that kind of mind, self-centered. So self-centered do that way. Their mind somehow only seeing that one person is more important. So way they grasping, apprehending the object is completely wrong, right? They apprehend self is important than rest of the all beings. That is completely wrong mistake. Through that reason, you can prove self-centered is the wrong consciousness, mistaken consciousness, not understanding the truth, not understanding the reality. It's completely opposite. That's why it's mistaken. So if this mind is mistaken consciousness, wrong consciousness, whatever they make decision from self-centered will turn into wrong, mistake, right? That is why follow with the self-centered. When you follow in a self-centered make a wrong decision, self-centered make a wrong action, self-centered will take you to the wrong place, right? Wrong intention, make a wrong decision. Wrong decision create wrong action. Wrong action leads you wrong place. Too much problem. That is why the entire beings suffer. Why we all suffering, right? From the Mahayana Buddhist perspective. Every being wants to live happy, but they all ended up suffering. Why? Because they're self-centered. That's the big problem. Who leads them to the wrong place? Means place which has too much suffering. Self-centered. The root cause is self-centered, right? That is why should understand, should prove this mind in the wrong. Then second thing is self-centered is just thinking about one person, right? Just one person. Imagine that one person getting something wrong, something mistake, suffering, that mind feels so much concern, so much fear, so much worry, because they only have one thing, and that's something going wrong, it creates them so much fear, worries. Reason, because of self-centered, it's very narrow-minded, very small-minded. When the mind is too small, any little problem when they got it, when they encounter with any problem, makes them so scared, so much fear. So big, small, it's also dependent, right? There's nothing, anything exists by themselves. So if the mind itself is too small, even small problem, it's become huge, big, because the mind is too small, right? When you are small, even small things become dependent on you, it's huge, big. If the mind is huge, big, even big problem, it becomes small, because the mind is huge, big. That is why self-centered, too small, too narrow-minded, that is why people who live with the self-centered easily feel depression, anxiety, fear, worries. When you encounter with any problems, easily that person will feel easily fear, worry, depression, anxiety, all those scare, fear, because of that mind, self-centered. Right? When you compare with the bodhisattvas, number of the bodhisattvas, where their living condition is much worse than us. Right? All those, when you look at the history of those great practitioners, bodhisattvas, their physical life is exactly same like a homeless. They don't have home. That's why they're living inside the caves, under the trees, right? And food they're just baking. But why they do not have stress, fear, mental problem? Why they still live with a very happy peace? In the modern life, there are people who live their physical life as like a luxury. They have a beautiful house, fancy house, they have a fancy car, all kind of foods are very good, they can wear a fancy dress, they can wear all these ornaments, expensive. But these people, they mentally, so much stress, fear, worry, concern, cannot sleep well, so much problem. And people who do not have anything, they live very peaceful. Why? What's wrong with them? Because those bodhisattvas, they do not have self-centered. They're free from self-centered mind. So when you do not have self-centered, there's nothing worry about you. There's nothing fear about you. Oh, I'm going to lose this. There's nothing cling to oneself. Right? The person who's not clinging, not holding like oneself strongly, then even that person go whatever wrong here, there, mentally, and not create any pain, fear, and worry. People who physically live so expensive way, luxury, but because of self-centered, very heavy, strong. So small things going wrong, they're concerned, they fear, they worry, cannot sleep sometime. Right? People who are so much attached to their skin. When the skin go little problem here, there, still small line or something comes up, so much concern, worry, cannot sleep now. Right? All of this, why? Too much attached to the skin. Why? Too much selfish. Right? When they're too much attached to their own fame, reputation, and somebody say bad things to you, somebody put bad things in the social media about you, you cannot sleep now. You so much worry. Bodhisattvas, when they say bad things to them, when they put rumor, they more respect to those people, right? Because they feel they give them good opportunity to exercise their patience, tolerance. They sincerely respect. They sincerely feel respect to them. So why they have to fear? They respect people who do these things, right? So it's kind of psychological perspective. When you look at these people who live with the self-centered, that's what the major problem today. 21st century, right, in these modern educations, we are never ever understanding the self-center is the suffering, causes of suffering. Instead of that, many people goes opposite. Self-center, you need it. You need to have self-center. You have to be strong. You have to do this or that. So it goes that way. In the surface, materialistic, you may gain, some kind of material. But the psychological perspective, it's really deep of their heart. It's burning, pain, worry. So today you can see that there's many, people suffer mentally so bad. Even physically they're pretending I'm right, I'm this or that. But the inside is really rotten. Number of people, it's rotten. It's not really happy life. Because of all of these comes from self-centered. So that is why we should understand the disadvantages of the self-centered. So anger, attachment, jealousy, all of them, one of the root come from self-centered, right? So through this meditation on disadvantages of self-centered, what they're going to do, when you think more that, when you feel it, eventually you feel fear, feel concern to your self-centered. It will start dislike to your self-centered. When that feeling comes, what's going to change? It changes, you feel, I really need to stop my self-centered, wish to free from self-centered, wish to get rid of self-centered, that kind of mind, that kind of realization first, right? Then the next advantages of cherishing to others, mind of cherishing to others, altruism. What is the benefit of altruism, right? That you need to know. Second, meditate on that. It's a direct opposite of self-centered, right? Same logic. You live one person there, you live 8 billion human beings. So, cherishing to the 8 billion human beings instead of one, this mind is right decision, because 8 billion is more important than one person. Right? That's what I call correct, right consciousness, valid. So the right, valid mind, decisions become a right. Actions will turn into right. Then you will end it up to the right place, the place which do not have sufferings, a right place. When the right mind, decision will right. Your intention is right, decision become right, action become right, you end it up to the right place. That's called altruism, right? That's simple, easy, oneself and other. For instance, if you have a 10 finger, right? In order to save 9 finger, you sacrifice 1 finger. That's called smart people. It's smart, right? In order to take care of 1 finger, you sacrifice 9. That's called stupid. Right? He lose 9 finger and just keep 1 finger. Just for sake of 1 finger, you destroy all these 9 finger. You will lose all. You will suffer more. Right? That's called stupid. That's self-centered and altruism. The mind, how they do. Right? Will take care of entire beings. When you really care about others, do for others, makes you happy. Reason why? Because your happiness is dependent on others. That's the reason. I mentioned earlier, this tradition of the practice's main philosophy, they rely on emptiness, dependent origination. Everything's a dependent on something else. They cannot exist by themselves. Everything's dependent. So, in order to live healthy life, we need to take care of our environment, right? If people who really take care of this environment, people who live in this planet, much happier, much peaceful, more healthier life, right? So if you destroy the environment, result, you will be suffer, right? That's how it is. It's showing your health is depend on environment, right? So if you take care of that, benefit to you. So that kind of understanding, dependent origination. So self is dependent on others. Therefore, when you take care of others, make oneself happy, peace, right? That's logic. So therefore, the mind who feel, who apprehending, who clinging others are more important, that mind is the right mind, right consciousness, because it's taking care of others. And therefore, it makes oneself peace and happiness, right? So why compassion? Why love to others? Because self and others are dependent origination, right? Because of dependent origination, love and compassion is the right consciousness, right? That's why when you look into the Mahayana Buddhist, all the practice, they put it into wisdom aspect of the Mahayana and the method aspect of the Mahayana practice. Wisdom aspect is the philosophy, is dependent origination. What is the Mahayana method aspect of the practice? Love and compassion to others. So why love and compassion? Because it's dependent origination. That's the reason. It doesn't mean love and compassion is the good, it's blah, blah, blah. It's not about that. It's the reality, in the general reality, self is dependent on others. So that is why, in order to live self-happy, you need to take care of others. Therefore, love and compassion to others is the right. You have to. You have to. It doesn't mean religious or this. If you want to live happy, you have to have love and compassion to others, right? Therefore, understanding advantages of cherishing, the mind of cherishing to others, altruism, it makes your mind huge, big thinker. You think about entire beings, concern their well-being. When you suffer, it's nothing for you. In your mind, it's 8 billion human beings, countless of sentient beings. You care about them. Your own problem for you is nothing. Mentally, it's not going to be affected. Like a middle of the day, when the sun is shining, the light, right? The star, little star lights, it's overwhelmed. It's not going to be affect anything, right? Because the sun shining, the light is much bigger. Same when you think about entire sentient beings benefit, then your own problems like these things for your mind is nothing. It's not going to be affect anything. It not makes you so much worry, concern, fear, because you have much more thinker there. So that is why mind of altruism heals oneself from all this depression, stress, fear, worry. All of this mental issue can easily heal from altruism, right? So through understanding, and for the Buddhist practitioner to achieve Buddhahood, it's because of the altruism. Without them, you cannot, right? Everything's the result. Enlightened beings, enlightened mind is from altruism. So thinking about the advantages of this altruism, then you feel, I really want to cultivate, wish to achieve that, right? And Shantideva, I think it says simple. Difference between selfish and cherishing the mind of altruism mind you just look at Buddhas and Bodhisattvas and ordinary beings, how different they are. Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, 24 hours, right? Peace and happy. Ordinary beings, we 24 hours suffer. Why? There's nothing, anything, because Buddhas and Bodhisattvas living with altruism. So ordinary people, we're living with self-centered. That's why we constantly suffer, right? So that's through these advantages, thinking on, you have wish to achieve altruistic intention. So next meditation, advantages of altruism. Through that you generate wish to cultivate, right? Achieve the altruism. Then actual exchange. Now exchanging. So actual exchanging, what they're doing is, first they meditate on compassion. So you meditate compassion to entire beings. Like example, like a mother, when her child is sick, right? When her child is sick, mothers feel like, not just I wish my child be free from illness. Mother's mind is going much stronger. If I can happily take my child's illness, right, to myself, happen me. As long as my child live happy, I'm happily take my children's disease on me. That kind of mind, right? They have. So similarly, it is not impossible thing. It is possible. Even the mother who can feel these things, So now that similar mind, you're thinking about entire sentient beings, right? They're suffering. And then you really feel, I wish them to be free from suffering. First, that's called compassion, right? Next, I'm happily to take all other suffering, wrapping into me. That kind of mind. It's the most difficulty, most powerful. That's this meditation today. So you wish to take all other suffering, wrapping into oneself, right? Wrapping into me. So that first you meditating. Eventually, when you try, eventually you can feel that. So when you really feel it, then you apply this meditation with breathing meditation, with the breath. So when you inhale, all of other suffering, form of smoke. So when you inhale, you take the smokes with your breath, right? When the smokes go into your nose and go in your heart, you're visualizing your main enemy, self-centered. It's middle of there, right? It's the big boss. It's there. So when these smokes go into your heart, you visualize that smoke chasing out the self-centered. That self-centered only can cure, only can eliminate by this kind of compassion, nothing else. So that's why out of compassion, wish to take all other suffering upon oneself. Out of that wish, when you take smoke with your breath, inhale, that smoke go into your heart, you visualize that really, put down your self-center. It's shaking now. It's becoming weak and weak. It's been there since beginning last time to till today. You've been suffer for eons and eons of life. Today is the one I got that medicine, right? Who can cure that. So I'm happily take this medicine, right? Medicine of compassion. So that take this breath in, you visualize it's what you call antidoting to your self-centered. Again and again. Each time when you inhale, you visualizing you're taking other suffering, that form of smoke. Inhale. That's how you're changing, you're destroying your self-centered, right? Then love, altruism, which is wish to offer, wish to gift, wish every sentient beings be happy and causes of happiness, called love, right? So I will happily to offer all the happiness. So you're visualizing out of that wish your happiness, your merits, your virtues, all the good qualities you have visualized like a form of smoke in your heart. So then when you exhale, you're releasing the smokes with your breath. When the smoke comes out from your nose, it goes through 10 directions and is spread to all over the universe. So other sentient beings, when they inhale, they take those smokes with their breath. When the smokes go into their body, you visualize makes them really happy, peace, right? All the good quality you have, they're receiving all of these good qualities. So that's called love. So inhaling with your compassion, take all the suffering, wrap it into oneself. Exhale with the love, you offer all your happiness and your virtues, your good quality form of smoke to others. So that's called Tonglen meditation. Meditation on giving and taking, right? Tonglen meditation. So that's the essence of this practice, right? That's why here it's saying all the suffering comes from the wish for your own happiness. That means disadvantages of selfish, this talking about, right? Perfect Buddhas are born from the thought of help others. All the advantages of altruism, right? Altruistic mind, the mind who cherish to others. So all the good quality, Buddha, perfect Buddhas, all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas are arising, born from the mind of cherishing to others, right? Advantages of the cherishing, mind of cherishing to others. Therefore, exchange your own happiness for the suffering of others. Therefore, exchange. So you exchange other suffering, you take it, right? You take it to oneself out of compassion. Your happiness, you offer to others out of your love. They're called exchanging, right? Exchanging. So that meditation, it's called Tonglen meditation. Tonglen, Tong in Tibetan, which means gift. Len means take it. Giving and taking meditation. Giving, which is love. Taking, which is called compassion. So the main point is love and compassion meditation, right? You put it there, then you meditate. So then first when you learn, you meditate on compassion, just take it. Each time when you inhale, you take other suffering, right? And out of compassion, just do it for a few minutes. Then after, just give. When you exhale, just give out of your love, all your merit, all your virtues, whatever object you attach, all of them, form of smoke, you gift, right? Out of love. Eventually you become familiar with that. Then when you inhale, out of compassion, take all suffering. When you exhale, out of love, you gift, right? Inhaling, exhaling, we constantly, that breathing, you have to breathe in and out. Same time, you apply this love and compassion meditation. When you inhale, compassion. When you exhale, love meditation, right? So if you feel concern, right? When you take others' suffering, when you take it, or concern, worry, this is good sign. Means you are really thinking. Say, oh, that's good. You're really feeling coming there. When you take the first time, when you take no worry, nothing, that means You are not really taking. You're just visualizing, right? Mentally, you are not taking. That's why you don't feel it. So when you feel a little bit concerned, worry like that, you don't need to, feel upset. You say, oh, that's good. There's something my mind is doing now. Now, question is, why it's worry? Why it is good? Because before, you've been listening, you're self-centered. You are the one of the best follower of your self-centered, right? Called the loyalty. You are the become loyalty of your self-centered. So since you follow all your life, today you're against now. You're against that. You're understanding your big boss is not good. This big boss been lying for us for many, many lives. I wake up now through the kindness of Shanti Deva, Buddha Nagarjuna. Now I'm realizing this is completely liar. He been lying. I've been suffer now. Now I know that, therefore I against that. Right? I against with this. Therefore, when you feel fear, that means your self-center is really shaking now. So you have to feel more happy. Now your big boss is really scared. Your big boss is worried now. That's good, right? So you have to do more and more, again and again. When the feeling started, so that's good. Since now this big boss nobody against that. Now today, I against, now he's scared now. Now he feel very uncomfortable now. Now he feel worried now, right? That's how you should do again and again. So that's how this meditation. Then eventually, slowly, your mind is really exchange it. Always think about others, right? Ignoring oneself. When you reach that state of mind, that level of experience, you can see many you have mental issues, the problem, will solve it. Gone. No more. Even sometimes you're externally very challenged, many things, but this challenge never ever creates you mentally fear, worry, depression, stress, nothing at all. Because this self-center is completely gone, right? That is why this practice is one of the most important, most difficult, most important. Qualify, they never teach publicly, never. Because majority people not agree with this practice. Majority people, they cannot follow this. They scare about this. Therefore, publicly they're not. Since Kadamba Geshe, Geshe, Langri Tamba Geshe, Chekawa, those Geshe started put it into the text, the emphasizing, publicly teaching, because their worry is because those masters eventually disappeared, then this teaching will completely disappear. Then nobody there. Now they don't have. That's why it makes publicly after that. So today in Tibetan tradition, these are publicly. So now this 37 practice of Bodhisattva is very publicly, openly we teaching. So because of those masters, they make those publicly. So this is then finally, after exchanging these meditation, of course, you're just taking this meditation, but actually, practically, you cannot take it, right? I can visualize to get all this suffering to me, but doesn't mean these people, their suffering really come to me. Never, right? How can it comes? This is their karma. So it's wrapped into there. It's the mentally we learn it. Now after you realizing, okay, I still cannot help them. So I really, practically, how should I help them? How should I save them? Then there comes, I need to achieve Buddhahood, enlightenment Buddhahood. Then I can teach like exactly same like a Gautam Buddha, right? He teach according to the other's mindset. So After when you become a Buddha, same like last teaching, you're capable to teach according to diverse mindset, because you can able to read others' mindset, which way you can teach them. For those people, you can go that way. For those people, you can go that way. Otherwise, they will not understanding. They will misunderstanding. So the skill, special skill, to teaching to the others, they can easily understand. In order to have that, you have to have omniscience, right? The mind called omniscience. And that's only when you achieve enlightenment, Buddhahood, you reach that. So purpose of becoming Buddha is to achieve that omniscience. When you have that, then one of the best equipment you have, you use that to teach the other people, guide them, same like a Buddha Shakyamuni, right? What he done. After him, hundreds of thousands of beings been achieved, some of them in enlightenment, bodhisattvas, arhat beings, supreme beings, so much like that because of his omniscience, how can guide them. So therefore, seeking oneself to become a Buddha, purpose of become a Buddha is to benefit to all beings, right? That's called bodhicitta, right? That's the Manjushri lineage, how they cultivate bodhicitta, right? So this is the stanza, not stanza, practice 11th. We finished. So it's good to, read and think more, and then slowly meditate. This Tonglen meditation, really powerful. Tonglen meditation is one of the best, meditation in ancient Tibet. People, even they use this meditation for cure the disease, external disease. And one time in Tibet there's one disease called, what is this name? You losing your hairs. Leprosy? Leprosy, yeah, this disease in Tibet, ancient time. So during that time, they don't have medicine to cure. So it's very contagious, easily. So when people get this, they always put it into the rural, solitary, and just waiting for death, because they don't have medicine. So number of Kadamba master got this disease at that time. So when they live in the solitary, they meditate this Tonglen meditation. They visualize all the others' disease, same that disease, wrapping into oneself. I'm happily take to others' suffering. So they use this meditation. Eventually, this meditation cure even the external disease. Not only mentally healthy, even externally helps. So that's why they put the nickname on this meditation. It's called kind of the medicine of curing this kind of disease. There's certain nickname, they put it there. So it's very powerful. So, eventually oneself, we ended of our life, right? We get old eventually. You feel like you're living with this kind of condition. Having this condition is feel more happier to get others suffering and wrapping into me. So fully satisfied. So no fear, no stress, no worry, no anger. It really gives you inner peace and happy. So these Tonglen meditations are really, really powerful. Sometimes when you encounter with some unfortunate situation, people sometimes they ended up with a very depression like that. This meditation will definitely cure. But before you get this, you have to meditate, you have to familiar. Because when you're already in that situation, you cannot do this meditation. You are too weak to able to take others' suffering to you. So that's why every day when you do it, then when you encounter with any difficult situation, you apply this meditation. It makes your mind so calm and peace, healed, mental healed, helps your physical healing, right? So therefore, even not talking about enlightenment, even this life, huge benefit, then bodhicitta or enlightenment, of course, right? So this is the one important meditation. So now we finish this. Now next are mostly simple meditation, which is mind training. So maybe next definitely then I will going to leave the question answer sections. This and yesterday, last Tuesday was quite important. So I have to have even 1 hour or 1.5 hours, not enough time to explain all this detail, right? But the next are simple, so it's kind of we have more time to leave question answer sections. Okay, so now we're going to do the conclusion prayer. So the prayer which we're reciting here, actually this is actual Tonglen meditation, and thus honorable compassion gurus, we seek your blessing that all karmic debts, obstacles, suffering of mother beings may without exception ripen upon us right now. Actually, when you recite yourself instead of us, you can say ripen upon me. Right? Ripen upon me right now. So you want all these mother sentient beings suffering. In this tradition, when you say mother sentient beings, not only your mother, right? Entire beings being your mother. So you feel very close like a mother. So all this suffering, ripen upon me. Please, Guru. So people asking the prayer, blessing me to become successful, to become rich, to become blah, 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 all selfish we're requesting to the Buddha. Here, what you're requesting, I'm requesting to the Guru, my Buddha. All the other suffering, please, it's ripen to me, ripen into me. That kind of requesting is the altruism. You're against your self-centered, right? And that we may give our happiness virtues to others, and thereby invest all being in bliss. So, and thereby, and that we may give, I may give my happiness and virtues to others, and thereby invest all beings live happy. I wish them, all of them happy. Whatever my happiness, whatever my merit, I really happily to give to all beings, and all those beings live very happy. That you're requesting to the compassion gurus, right? It's a real compassion request. So that's why when we recite the Om Mani Padme Hum mantra, you meditate compassion and love to all beings. Then actual prayer, when we recite it, then you do this Tonglen meditation, right? All this ripen into me, other suffering, all my happiness is gift to others. Okay. Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Om Mani Padme Hum. And thus, honorable, compassionate gurus, we seek your blessings that all karmic debts, obstacles, and sufferings of mother beings may without exception ripen upon us right now, and that we may give our happiness and virtues to others, and thereby invest all beings in bliss. And thus, honorable, compassionate gurus, we seek your blessings that all karmic debts, obstacles, and sufferings of mother beings may without exception ripen upon us right now, and that we may give our happiness and virtues to others, and thereby invest all beings in bliss. La ju doi ve ti doi nge ma lu oi da lai mi pa tai dai ji de ji shin la tai wa yi droi kuin de ta de bara ji ji lo droi kuin de ta de bara ji lo chanjo semjo rinpoche ma che pa nam ke ju che ba nyam ba me pa yang kong ne kong do pe wa sho. May the precious and sublime bodhicitta not yet born be born, and that which has been born not decline but increase forevermore. Okay, thank you very much.